When you think of debt, what comes to your mind? Perhaps it's the worry of paying off a student loan, the anxiety over credit card bills, or maybe the larger, somewhat abstract idea of national debt, a staggering number that seems to climb endlessly. But here's a provocative thought. Is there a place on this vast earth, a nation that exists completely free of debt? The answer and the journey to understand it not only unveils a great deal about the financial heartbeats of countries, but also tells a story about our global economy. A tale that holds implications for every single one of us, threading through the layers of billions. First, let's demystify what we mean by national debt. National or sovereign debt is the money borrowed by a government to fund its operations and initiatives when it spends more than it earns in revenue. This includes everything from building infrastructure and providing public services to funding welfare programs and national defense. Typically, this debt is raised by issuing government bonds, bills, and other securities that investors, including common citizens and foreign governments, can purchase. One might think that all countries operate with some level of debt as a natural course of managing a nation. Indeed, most countries do, and for many it plays a crucial role in stimulating economic growth. When a government borrows money, it invests in various sectors which can boost productivity and improve living standards. But the idea that every single country must have debt to function is not necessarily accurate. In an extraordinary twist, there are a few countries that claim to have zero or near zero national debt. These are typically nations with abundant natural resources relative to their small population size, allowing them to amass revenues that surpass their expenditure. Take, for instance, Brunei, a small yet wealthy country thanks to its substantial oil and gas reserves. Brunei has managed its wealth so efficiently that it has virtually no external debt. Similarly, Liechtenstein, a tiny principality with a robust financial sector and low taxes, also operates without significant debt burdens. But here's where the plot thickens. Operating without debt might sound like a fiscal utopia, but it brings its own set of challenges and peculiarities. Economists argue that by not leveraging the power of debt, countries might be missing out on opportunities to enhance their economic growth or improve public services that could further advance their society. Debt, when used responsibly, can be a powerful tool for catalyzing development and implementing essential projects. Moreover, the concept of zero debt is nuanced. Often, what is reported as zero debt refers to foreign debt, money owed to external creditors. This doesn't necessarily mean the country has no domestic debt, money owed to its own citizens. Additionally, the political, social, and economic stability required to maintain a no-debt status is extraordinarily delicate. A single political event, a drop in commodity prices, or a major economic downturn can change everything, pushing even the most financially conservative countries towards borrowing. The interplay between having debt and not having it also illustrates a broader narrative about economic philosophy and fiscal strategy. On one hand, countries like Japan carry debt that exceeds their GDP, operating under the belief that investment in innovation and social services will outpace the cost of borrowing. On the other hand, nations like Brunei maintain a conservative approach, ensuring all spending is backed by actual financial inflows, not future promises. This story of national debt is not just about numbers and economic theories. It's deeply woven into the fabric of global finance. It affects international trade, influences global markets, and shapes the economic policies that govern our world's economy. Every decision to borrow or not to borrow reflects a country's economic strategy, its governance, and its vision for the future. Now, as we consider the implications of living in a world where almost every country is tied up in the web of debt, a pressing question arises: what is the cost of this debt for the average citizen? And what happens if a country suddenly cannot pay back what it owes? The answers are complex and carry consequences for global financial stability, influencing everything from currency values to international relations. In wrapping up our exploration into whether all countries have debt, we've traveled from the macro vistas of global economics down to the micro realities of governmental decision-making. We've seen that while nearly all nations utilize the tool of debt, a fascinating few navigate their paths without it. This exceptional circumstance doesn't just highlight different economic circumstances, but also different philosophical approaches to fiscal management. Whether a country should aim to have zero debt or leverage its financial capabilities to borrow and invest remains a subject of intense debate. What is clear, however, is that understanding the dynamics of national debt is crucial for anyone looking to grasp the nuances of both global and local economics. As we look towards an increasingly interconnected financial future, the lessons learned from the economies of both debt-laden and debt-free nations will undoubtedly continue to shape our world in myriad, profound ways.